So, hello everybody, and welcome back to Hunt Lowdown, the podcast for a fellow four-star. I am Baldore, and I'm here with Drake, of course,
Hello.
and we're back after. I'd say it's a short hiatus,
Yeah,
but
yet another
it's not.
hiatus.
Yeah, I love how we came back from our hiatus and we immediately jumped.
Yeah, jump ship
But
again.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, Drake's had his schedule shift. I'm finally getting a handle on teaching stuff in time for summer, but. So we should hopefully have a little bit of free time coming up for recording. But we kind of got kicked in the butt for this because somebody in our Discord was like, yo, have you guys been looking at the stats? And we're like, no. And they're like, you should. And we're like, oh, people have been like listening to this. So we
Yeah.
should put something out.
Should probably actually do something for it.
We should do our job for this.
Bring content to the people.
Yeah, so here we are. Drake, how's life been?
Life's been alright. It's nothing really new.
Anything exciting?
No. Life is kind of boring for me right now, so.
Yeah, I did want to share. I had this fun thing where, like, now that I'm into, like, less stressed about like the college side of teaching this year. Now that I'm licensed, I had this fun moment this past week where I have two. So I teach middle school, and we're doing the human body because it's science. And so I had one class, and we go through, and half the kids are asleep. One kid gets kicked out for like being super disrupting and saying some awful things to and threatening another kid. So they get sent to the office, and we make it through like the whole notes in one day because nobody will answer questions, nobody does anything. It's like, this is rough, and like I get a little bit of participation. Like that was kind of a win. And then I got the other class, same grade, everything, and we're going into day 3 of the same notes tomorrow. Well, Monday, we're recording this on a Friday.
Yeah.
Because like I'll talk about like, oh hey, the nervous system, and I'll get questions like, oh, so is that why XYZ? And then it's like, oh well, that leads into how does cell replication work, and how's that affected by cancer? Do different types of like soft tissue versus hard tissue? And like we've had really interesting discussions, and it's been so much fun.
That's awesome.
And it's just been really enjoyable. And I just like I walk out like because that's the first period of the day, and sometimes they're hooligans. But like I've been walking out of that class and be like, wow, that was great. Then I have that same class, I have this same grade 5th period, and I'm just like, you guys are they're just so apathetic. But it was I just thought it was funny of like the differences between groups. Sometimes we're like, boy.
Do you remember in school being part of either of those types of classrooms?
I'm very much the nerd. I remember when the college classes day, we talked about how like sometimes people are afraid to ask questions, and I'm just like, oh, that's like a foreign thought to me. Because like if I don't understand something, I'm like, teacher, please explain. Like right now, I'm raising my hand, help.
I actually was that kid that didn't want to ask questions because I was afraid of looking stupid to the people who did know it.
I didn't care.
I was that kid. You just didn't care? I mean, fair. See, I don't care now. As an adult, I don't care. But back then, I was very self-conscious.
Because it was the kind of thing of like, it's not that I didn't care, but it's like, okay, if somebody thinks I'm stupid for answering the question, I now have the knowledge I wanted.
Right.
And they wouldn't have.
I didn't have that kind of like, not insight, what's the word? I didn't have that kind of like mentality back in school.
I just really like just learning new crap, whether or not it's relevant or not. Like again, like this is why I went on the like random tirade about like damage drop-offs and stuff in this game. It's really neat to me.
That tirade was epic.
That being said, there's also like the things where there are sometimes very similar things that like I should find interesting, and I just don't. Like RTS strategy games, I find very certain parts of them really intriguing. Okay, here's one. Pathfinder, right?
Yeah.
D&D. You're my fellow D&D boy.
Yeah, one of
you min-max sometimes, right? We're like,
oh yeah, I've min-maxed before.
Yeah, I love that.
You love min-maxing?
The system, yeah, it's gret. Once you know the system, but when you show it like me a new system and you're like, here, read this, I go, no, I don't want to. So like, I've been playing Pathfinder 2e now for like 2-3 years, right?
Yeah,
it's been a campaign. I understand the system pretty well at this point, and so I got Pathfinder. Not Wrath of the Righteous, Kingmaker.
Okay.
And I fired it up, and they're like, here's your kingdom management system. And I went, God, I don't care.
Just don't wanna. No.
Yeah, they're like, here's all your systems. They're like, it's just slightly different because it's based off first edition, and it's just different enough that like I don't care to learn it, but like I should. And then they're like, here's another management system, and I'm like, oh lordy, I don't want to do it. It's just one of those things. Like, it wasn't every class, but like science class, I found so like bio, I would very frequently be like, yo, teacher, how does this apply to X, Y, and Z? And he'd be like, oh, but then like chemistry, I'd be like, all right, cool, I've got the knowledge I need. I'm ready to leave my this classroom. Like, which is funny.
Let me out.
Like my chemistry. Which is funny then, because I was in science academic team with the chemistry teacher, and he'd be like, oh, here's like the science history question or bio question. I'd be like, I know that. And then he'd be like, here's the chemistry question for it. And I'd be like, I have no idea. He's like, we're doing that right now in class. I'm like, we sure.
Right.
So, yeah. And I just thought that was one of those really neat insights. Tying it back to Hunt, I was playing with a different group, and we had a very similar experience where it's like, I just played with, it was a mix of it was one newer player and one veteran player who just don't think of the game the same way as me. So like one of the newer players was like, yeah, Centennial is the god gun, which I really like. Centennial is really good now. I enjoy it thoroughly.
Really good, yeah.
Yeah. But he's like a Centennial leveling and I quote, will treat you right.
You know what's funny about that statement is I just discussed this not discussed it like in depth or anything, but it was mentioned in my Discord with Dark earlier. Hold on, what was it?
I don't think it's awful, but I don't think
it's not awful, but it was
I'd rather switch to my Spitfire.
Tom said he was quoting someone else who was going through like a list of things that they had done in a match. And he quoted him, kill the guy I killed previously by levering my Centennial. Yes. And then he said, you hit someone levering with a Centennial? And Dark said, the hell y'all talking about? Levering Centennial is accurate as hell. And I said, if by accurate you mean can outline the player perfectly, yes, agreed.
I think the problem with it is I still like trying to use levering. I have flashbacks to when the Centennial first came back. And it was just me dying like 70 times in a row because it was awful.
It was really bad.
And like it's kind of usable now. But like, man,
it's usable if I can put the gun up against their chin, then it's really, really usable. But if it's any further than that,
it's good as a panic fire. I don't have time to switch to another weapon, which is a very useful tool to have.
It is. You're right.
But yeah. Is there anything else we kind of want to cover on that? Any funny hunt stories?
I mean,
lately.
I want to say no. I don't know if there's. Not really. No, I've played so much Hunt since the last time we did a podcast that like I can't think of any one thing that was super funny or super interesting.
I'm gonna.
You know what? I will say one thing really quick.
Go.
Machete. That thing is slept on. The machete is slept on. It is such a good melee weapon in this game.
Those are words you can say. You're allowed to say those.
Hot take. I have a clip where I
why not take the cavalry saber?
Okay. So the cavalry saber is really good. You get that reach in there, and with the power attack, even to the body, they're basically dead.
Is this the argument the light attack for the machete is better than the light attack from the saber?
No, this is an argument where the heavy attack for the machete is incredible because it uses next to no stamina. And it is an arc attack in front of you, so you're gonna, as long as you're like they're on your screen, you're gonna hit them. And also applies the bleed. It's 141 damage. Like it is so good. So if the heavy attack itself doesn't kill them, that bleed, if they don't stop it immediately, they are going to die.
Is it intense bleed?
That I don't know, but it's enough.
I've just had a bunch of experiences where like I've gotten that heavy bleed and they just stopped it, and I thought I'm gonna trade because I die, and then they just stop it in time. But
I mean, if you're hitting him with a machete, you're you're right there. You just turn around and smack him again. But
that's what I use. I use the heavy knife. So typically, the machete has a lot of overlap with it. Because they're both kind of.
You know what? Actually,
like the same like slashy.
It's
style.
The same slash, yes, but
it's just about. I mean, the machete's going to be better because it's a weapon slot.
I'm just curious about something for like the numbers' sake. Heavy attack with a knife is 25. What is the
Heavy attack from a knife is 25. What?
25,
right?
25 stamina. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
My bad.
I was like, that damage is not correct.
Yeah, sorry, no. And the heavy consumption of stamina on the machete. It's what it says, stamina consumption.
No, yeah, no, that's correct. It's just a funny way to say it. Like, no, I'm eating your stamina.
Is 20, so it's actually less to swing the machete heavy than it is the knife.
The knife is pretty intensive though. How do you feel about the knuckle knife?
The knuckle knife is my go-to now, like for my generic.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of people swap to it since we'll get to this in the quest lines, but there's that quest line to like kill immolators with it, so it's forcing people to play it a bunch. And I know some people are like, you know what, this isn't terrible.
So, yeah. Okay, I mean,
I just like the heavy knife too much. Being able to one tap zombies, like it's slightly worse than PvP, but God,
actually, you've got me
so much of the game is PvE zombie clearing. It's so nice to not just this sounds so pathetic, but it's so nice to not have to like hold down for that half second and charge it and like wait for them to do that swing with it. They just barely dodge it in the last moment. But it's really nice.
The light attack for the machete is less stamina consumption as well. But I mean, I just think the machete is slept on. It's a small slot, and you can always take a dingy do if you really need a pistol. You know.
That's I mean, yeah, but so what's the? I feel like it'd be good for like Winnie or like Vetterly.
Right.
As like a fallback. Let's see. I'm checking heavy knife. Heavy knife is 120 heavy, 72 light damage.
Yep.
25 consumption for the heavy, and so it's 15 light, 72 damage, 25 heavy, 120 damage. So it's pretty close to the machete, just a little bit worse.
Right. Yeah. It's
about what expected.
It's just the machete is. I mean, I guess it's because it's a tool versus a weapon that the heavy knife is like that. But
in the machete's defense, it does have the blood orchid skin, which is freaking great.
Yeah, you have a flipping falchion that you're running into the bayou with. And it is intense rending with the heavy.
What's the? Yeah, I think it's medium for the knife. So it seems like basically going up to the machete is just like you get.
Yeah, it's medium.
Here better for everything.
I'm just telling you to slept on because I have a clip where two of my teammates got downed and I was hiding behind a hay bale in the upper portion of the layer in Seven Sisters. Yeah, Seven Sisters. And I was just holding my power attack. I don't think they knew that I was there, and I could hear them on the other side of the hay bale. It was the whole team of 3 over there, and I said, screw it. I dashed around the corner, hit one. I think I killed the first one immediately. Heavy attacked, and I didn't stop running this whole time. Heavy attacked the next guy, ran around a hay bale, heavy attacked the third guy, and as I hit that third guy, I heard the second guy
bleed out.
Yeah, here's the only bad part about the clip is that one of them managed to hit me, like shoot me in like the chest or whatever, but it was not enough to kill me. I was on like, I don't know, 10 hit points or less. And it was Scrapbeak Slayer. So I ran around a thing and I heard them all die, but I was so panicked and focused on what I was doing that I ran around a corner and like stepped on some concertina and killed myself. But it doesn't change the fact that
I feel like you say worst part about that clip. You meant to say best part about that clip.
You're right, the best part of that clip. But 1v3 an entire team with just a machete, and I effectively Naruto dashed through them all with it. It was great.
That's amazing. Yeah. You need to like put in like the like zing sound effect and like have like zoom in and you get like the action lines and be like Nani.
Yeah, with the action lines. Yeah.
Yeah, the funny one I've had is I've been trying to get the Killian's Chance part of the quest.
I hated that one.
Yeah, and so my buddy and I have been playing like dualies of whatever we get from a free respin, and then just Killian's Chance or triple Killian's Chance. And I think the highlight is I had a match where I killed 3 people with slapping them with it. And
hey, but you did damage with Killian's. So.
Yeah, and it was them like charging me, and like all 3 ones, like they'd hit me with long and then charge for that, and I'd just be around the corner and just went bonk. Yeah, that's what almost good. All my damage has been bonking them with it, and I have no idea how that's happened.
That's amazing. I like that.
But that leads us into the quest lines. which I think we're actually going to hold off on a little bit because let's wrap up event stuff because we've had an event and it drops since we last had this.
Right. Yeah.
So, is there anything you wanted to add about Inferno before we move on past Inferno and leave it? Yeah. How do you feel? How do you feel about the time investment of it?
Like that the devs took for it, or like what we had to do as players playing.
The grind versus the.
I'm kind of in the middle on it, to be honest with you. Like, part of me didn't mind it. The other part of me was I did end up getting kind of tired of just all of it. I just wanted Hunt back, like regular Hunt.
Yes.
But also I understand having new mechanics and things to either test or implement. So
something with this one that hit me was during the snake event. I didn't really care about the last couple unlocks.
Right.
And I wanted Kevin, right? I wanted the new lad, and like that made it a little bit more stressful. Of like, oh, am I not gonna make it? But I think the timing was. Would you agree that it's? Yeah, I made it.
Okay. Good.
Would you say that it was closer than the previous one, than Serpent Moon?
Closer
to being on the money for the right amount of points versus duration.
Oh, I see. I think so far every time that they've done a new one, it's gotten better. Personally,
I agree with the exception of Serpent's Moon. I think Serpent's Moon was way too much grind. I think part of it with Serpent's Moon though was the snakes an interesting mechanic got really old and led to a lot of feels bad moments.
Oh, okay.
When you get killed before you can drop.
Yes, that is true. I forgot about that aspect. It's been so long since Serpent Moon now that I can't lie. I don't remember a lot of.
No, I
at this
agree.
point. Like, I remember it happened, and I remember the snakes, but
yeah. And the other thing I want to add is with the packs with the Inferno, I wanna issue a public correction that I stated during it. I thought that the Grounded was more fun, but Lunar Pact was probably better. I want to correct that because what I didn't fully take into account was Grounded lets you keep your hunter, meaning you keep all the perk points. So everybody having Fanning, Quartermaster, and Doctor is like having Fanning and Doctor is probably better than you don't lose a bear when you get down the first time.
Right.
And so I feel like that's a slight miscalculation I made, and that was pretty abundantly clear by the end. And I don't think that statement's going to shock anybody. And Inferno was pretty, like, it felt. Let's be honest, it felt like the Grounded event.
Yeah, it did kind of feel like the Grounded event. I still think Lunar was more fun from like a competitive aspect. I think it was more entertaining because it wasn't helpful passively.
Yeah, I think Grounded takes like a match. Yeah, Grounded takes a match or two to like you get the value of it. I think if you just take it in the match and maybe even into 2 matches, Lunar's better. But in the long run, Grounded, especially with getting to keep your hunter and all those perk points, it's like, yeah, baby. So unless you get down a bunch, you just end up spending all of them on your berries. Yeah. And you have a 50 hunter who's gotten like a couple random meathead perks and like pack mule, and you're like, well, lovely.
And if you get down again and you don't have any points left, you have to like go find the poster, the envelope.
Yes, I've had that a couple times with solo.
Because you couldn't collect anymore.
Yeah, getting like too greedy with your solo revives and just being like, yeah, I can take them. And you're like, ooh, I've got 50 bear and 4 points. Ooh.
Ooh, wait a minute.
Yeah, which let's use that to lead into solo. Solo revives a thing now. It exists. You can solo revive after 10 seconds if you have
4.
Yeah, if you can 5 originally. If you get Necromancer. I feel like the 10 seconds change is very healthy. I think my stance is it's balanced fine. I think it's a good change. I like that solos have it. It's great. it's also freaking annoying sometimes.
It really is.
It's so annoying, especially if there's another team and you know this guy is solo, and you're like, does he have revive? Does he not? I don't really want to spend have half my team stay here and watch the body, but I don't want to. I don't want to leave and find something that like a lantern and come back and he's burned.
Right.
And so it's made like concertina tripwires and different kinds of tripwires and stuff a lot better.
More important.
But it's almost annoying because those are also typically expensive. And so it's the thing of, I think it's really good. I wish there was some way to tweak some tool that it was good enough to take without anticipating solos, but would still help you block solo revives without it being unfair to them. But that's a lot of criteria to me.
That is a lot of criteria to me.
Yeah, because concertina mines do it. They're just $90.
Right, they're a little expensive.
Yeah, and like that's most of the specs there. So yeah. There's also Magpie, which is 10 seconds for solos and double loot
boost capacity, and all boost sources are doubled.
Yeah, it's weird that I'm taking Magpie. Like, it's pretty good for solos.
Yeah, it's pretty. Like, really
I take it pretty consistently. At 1 per point, it's worth it.
And then Serpent, the solo update.
Serpent, it's fine.
Yeah, it's alright.
I like it. The amount of times I've gotten killed trying to bank on it, though.
Oh, I haven't actually used it yet, mainly because I don't play solo. But
yeah, it's fine. Riley really likes it when he plays solo, but I don't typically buy it. But I think that's also a difference in playstyle. Riley's a little bit more methodical than I am. A little bit less run and gun.
Right.
So yeah, I think the next thing before we kind of compare and contrast them is we got drops. Drops happened.
Oh, drops. Yeah.
It was neat.
What was part of the drops this time? What was it? What was the
mostly repeats. I actually really liked it because they changed it so you could get like those 1 per day or every 2 days. They were a little bit more spread out, and then you could get
oh yeah.
You get like ammo crates and stuff that would give you like, hey, here's some guns or some stalker beetles or whatever.
Right.
I liked it a little bit better. It felt a little bit more reasonable. I think I actually missed the last day, but I don't even remember what it was.
Was it the old Tusk again, or I'm trying to remember which set it was.
Sorry for if my cough's being picked up. It is back again.
Sorry.
Oh, you can't sort by Twitch drops.
Yeah, I'm on the same page.
Did you go to the legendary and you're like, search?
Actually, can you use
Gator's Eye, Fifth Tail? Is it Fifth Tail I didn't get? No, I got Fifth Tail.
Silver, I think was one of them, right? Because we had to do the there was
Silver's been for each one, I think, though.
Is it really?
Yeah, it was from the original. I went broke trying to do the story quest with that. I lost something like 20 grand. So I just don't play the Bornheim. And so trying to get like 1,000 Bornheim damage was awful for me. Because it's also the special one with like the extended, and the way I like playing Bornheim is dually Bornheim.
Mm-hmm.
That's $350, I think.
I think it was whatever came with Hera's gift, right?
Oh,
the charm. So
it was like a little charm. That's what it was.
Well, what was the repeat things with Hera's gift? I want to say it might have been like remember. Lulu and the Marquis and all that, Alley Cat.
Yeah, and I had the other stuff, so I don't know. But I think the Twitch drops was an improvement, again, moving in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
They did something else with it, but the fact that it's been a month or two and we don't even remember, I mean... Part of it too was that was when my final pass-fail project was due.
Oh.
And so I was like, normally I would have streamed pretty heavily during it, and I didn't at all. So, yeah. And then after that, we have had the questies. So since then they reset. So now your daily challenges are now the challenges that they had during Inferno. So you have 4, 2 of them being AI and 2 of them being PvP. And you have a week to do them. You get 1 daily reshuffle. They have, thank God, added more options. So you're not getting land headshots from 150 meters and get danger kills twice a day.
Yeah, that was irritating.
And then what seems to be this, and if this is the plan, I actually like this decently well, but it seems like we're going to be having one big battle pass 3-month event once or twice a year.
Yeah, I'm
And
game for that.
then we're going to have in between that, we're going to have quest lines. So like we had the scaled ward quest. I can't remember what the quest line was called, but to get the scaled ward, where was the Centennial not sawn off, the Centennial Shorty, what a name.
Right.
And then now we have the Vengeance of the Skinned, and both of them were a month long. They're both 6 tiers, I think. Each tier gives you either a unlock for a new weapon type or a legendary, which I think is a neat way. It's like, oh, you can whip through it and unlock them a couple. I think this has really exemplified my annoyance with events of like why they're so annoying to me. This paired with wanting Kevin. I think a big part of what makes me feel like they're well paced or not, and thinking of them as a chore or something fun to do,
right,
is how much I want the skins.
Okay.
Because with the Serpent Moon, I didn't get super stressed by the ink. I'm like, whatever, I don't finish the last 10 tiers because I don't want the event, right?
Right.
But with the Kevin one, I'm like, I want to grind. I'm going to be doing these quest lines. I'm going to be trying to get those Derringer kills 7 matches in a row, dying to stuff because I'm going for Derringer kills because I wanted that thing at the end. I wanted the Scaled Wood. I wanted the Centennial Shorty real bad, so I did those pretty heavily. For the Vengeance on the Skin, I did the first 2 because I wanted the Baldore skin and I wanted the Crag Bayonet.
Right.
And I'm kind of good with the last couple. Like, I've got a Bombland skin. I like the Shrike. I don't really like the new ornament. And the skin's fine. I haven't, like, I like it, but it's not going to replace any of my main legendaries.
Right.
And so, like, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do the quest if I want to.
Okay, I see.
And it makes it so much less stressful because it's like, oh yeah, but what makes me think of that is I almost wish it was, it's going to sound weird, like an upgrade tree where you can be like,
oh, like pick your path?
I want to, yeah, like it's like, okay, do you want to unlock like the Centennial and the Centennial Shorty and then the Centennial skins? And you like get, like each level you get like a perk point to like put into whatever tree you want. It's like, oh, you can go for the Crag or the Shorty.
Okay.
Almost like the shadows. And so then it's, if you have less time, you can still make sure you get that one skin you want.
Right.
But if you have
a positive upgrade.
Yeah, but then if you're one of those people who's like really sweating to get everything, you get so many more skins. Yeah, and you don't have to then like let's say that the Killian's chance was at the end, then I'd be like, ooh, like I'd be more stressed out with like having to get Gator traps because they're annoying to get.
Right.
But since it's not, it's like, yeah, whatever. If I see a Gator trap, it's a positive as opposed to being a negative of I didn't find any traps this match, I'm annoyed.
Right.
And I think that'd be a really small change to just have. I think that's why Light the Shadow was so much fun, because you could be like, because like that's the event that stands out to me.
Yeah, same.
Actually,
it's because wearing the shirt for it today.
Oh, you have a shirt for it? That's weird.
Yeah.
But I think it's also the thing of you got to choose what it was, and then it was also, hey, here's a new event type with like the battle pass. It was like the first time they did that, and then on top of that, these tie in mechanically to the game.
Right. Yeah.
Which I think they're trying to bring back now because like with quest lines we've had a lot of deal damage with the new legendary skin, or like for the Shorty one there was a lot with do damage with poison ammo because the Centennial gets poison ammo.
Okay.
And so it's like, yeah play poison ammo.
But they're
I
banking
like
on
that
people
too, so
wanting to play that new weapon too. So
yeah, but it's like also the thing like if you don't want to, it's like okay, slap poison arrow on your specs. Cool.
right. And like tier 6 of this quest line, deal damage to enemy hunters with any ammo of bomb lance. And it's like, okay, well, we just unlocked a new skin. That's or
yes,
and kill enemy hunters with the variant of the crag. Like, okay, that makes sense. We just unlocked 2 crags. Like,
and then
like
investigate 12 gator traps. And you're like, shoot me.
Yeah, or 16. Yeah.
Oh, is this 16 for the fun? No,
For the final
Greg.
one is 16. Yeah.
I would say it's 16.
In fact, right now, I just finished today before this recording with Tom. I finished
that's bad.
The tier 5 gator trapped one.
Yeah, I've been playing a little bit slower.
That's fair. I actually like the skinned, like the legendary hunter skin.
The problem with it is the plague doctor has grown on me so much.
You know what?
I like the plague doctor so much now.
I want to like.
Because I used to play Phantom. I used to play Phantom quite a bit, and then people would be like, "Oh, like Rakta," every single time.
Right.
And I'm just like, "All right, I'm sorry." It's basically
he
like
owns
me
that
out
now.
Yeah. And then I like Runin, but not the face. So like it's kind of Sovereign, North Star, Plague Doctor are kind of the ones I play.
Okay.
And then occasionally I'll grab something else. I really like Steel Eyed too. She's got like the Van Helsing, Nicolas Cage,
right,
kind of combo look to it. I think it's goofy and fun. But yeah, so like my point being, I kind of have hunters that I already go to, and like he's not replacing them.
Your set favorites.
Yeah,
mine's probably lose Mala and Prescient. Yeah.
Yeah, Prescient's really nice. And then the other ones I really like. I do really like Kevin, and there's one other. I refuse to call him the false thing because I think I play the bartender sometimes just because he's funny. It's not necessarily really like him. I like Sophia pretty well. I think she's a really unique design.
Actually, I agree.
There's a couple other ones I like, but they're all like 1,000 blood bonds, and I don't like them that much.
Right. Oh, I like Miko too. The Miko.
Yeah, I'm really tempted, but I refuse to because this is the second time they've taunted us with katana and not given us a katana skin. This is not me taking like the more high ground. Like I was talking to somebody, I'm like, yeah, I refuse to get it. Like, oh, because it's $10 and the skins. I'm like, look, those are all really good points, and I understand that you're coming from that from like, hey, I want games to be better and like more high ground and stuff. I'm coming from no, I want a katana skin.
I just want a katana.
Yeah, this is me being a weeb, and then it launched into a whole discussion where I really want a two-handed sword.
Can you imagine?
And have it just be like a bad bomb lance, like between the combat axe and the bomb lance, where you have the reach of the bomb lance and stuff, but it's like $100 instead of 200, and you don't get get ammo.
Yeah,
yep. I think it'd be fun.
I think that'd be fun too.
Yeah, I think it'd be really fun. I don't think it'd be unbalanced at all. It'd just be. I think the biggest argument against it is animations.
Oh yeah, that's honestly fair.
Yeah, it's like if they can't just reuse the bomb lance one, it's like ooh, probably not. So
they'd have to do some work on it.
I mean, but on the other hand, like the Krag's just another long ammo rifle, and it's got unique animations, so why not?
I mean, yeah, true. But very true.
Yeah, so how do you feel about quest lines and? Because I kind of babbled here. How do you feel about quest lines and challenges?
I like how they've done challenges. I think if they left that alone for a while, I'd be content. I'd be okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything to complain about. I mean, I usually get the challenges done. Like I have 12 out of 30 pips, whatever you want to call them, just from today. And then I have 4.5 days left to do it. So it's like I get that done so fast, and then don't have to worry about it, and I get 25 blood bonds out of it.
Sure. My only thing is sometimes I get stuck on one that I'm really annoyed by, or you get like ones that are all different from each other. So like right now I'm looking at, I've got 2 AI to kill them with poison damage, which is just sometimes annoying to bring. Well, and then like sometimes you get ones you just want to reshuffle, and I wish there was just a way to reshuffle more than one a day.
I feel that.
Even if it was like 5 blood bonds, like Some days I'd be
I might do it,
which is stupid because which is freaking stupid because the reason you do the challenges
it's for blood bonds.
It's to get the like 5 blood bonds.
Well, what they
it's one
could
of those things where
do,
like my stupid monkey brain goes, yeah, I'd do that, and then I go, wait, no, why would I ever do that?
Why would I do that? So what they could do though is make it like, if, for this week, right? You get 1 free reshuffle, and then after that it's 1 blood bond, and then when you do that, it's 2 blood bonds to do again, and then 3 blood bonds to do it, the 4th time. Like,
I mean, honestly, 1 blood bond might be fine, just because like that's not a lot, and
I'd let it compound just so that it's like, you can do it if you want, but you're going to end up spending more than you're going to earn from the challenge.
Yeah, sure. Have it, and then have that reset daily or weekly. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Or do it like the black market, where it's like, oh, you can spend like a blood bond until you spin, but you can 3 times.
Right. Yeah.
Like, and then that's it. You
just gotta wait it out. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, the one thing I'll say though about challenges and quest lines is, and this is a new thing that they did, is your teammates can help you with all of them.
God, that's so good.
It's so helpful.
Thank the Lord. Like, Mr. Crytek,
Mr. Crytek.
Mr. Crytek, whoever works for you that way. You know what? Maybe we should fix that. Give him a raise. Give him the monies.
Well, that
give
and
him a nice posh office.
And the weapon unlock sharing. That's also really nice. If I never run, I don't know, say the crag, and you use nothing but the crag, I get unlocks for you doing that.
Okay, look. Here's the thing. That's absolutely fabulous. Great change. Strict upgrade. For like 90% of the time. Amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody should love it. I don't care. I don't prestige. So when they inevitably go like wipes or something, or here's the prestige rework, I will be right there with you. But until then, I'm sitting at my large amounts of money that I don't want to waste, that I will then spend through like 40 grand in a night playing like some stupid like Nitro
meme loadout
incendiary or something. Which that's not a thing, but that should be.
There should be now.
Yeah, like I'll just like burn through like all my cash in one night and then spend like another couple of months getting it back up again to play something stupid. So yeah. But my big thing is I like being able to go, you know what, I want to play the Martini Ironside and not going, we don't have it now.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't prestiged in a minute now because, like, since the beginning of these 2 quest lines, because I wanted to have the things that I had for these quest lines, so I could do them.
It's weird that they're encouraging you to do prestiging, but then also going, don't prestige because you need the Nagan Officer Brawler.
Yeah, like right now I have
or the Crag. Yeah.
What is it? Do explosive damage to enemy hunters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, what has explosive? And other than the crossbow, because that's pretty early. What has explosive ammo? And usually explosive ammo is the last thing to unlock.
Yep.
Or the uppercut has explosive, but it's just like,
no, I forget that's a thing. That is a thing. Yep, that is a thing.
Yeah.
But I think I like them. My only thing is it gets really annoying when I like that they're forcing you to try something new.
Yeah.
My issue is sometimes I feel like I'm locked into playing something I'm having a miserable time playing. And so it'll be like the Killian's chance one. Like, I like the officer. I like the officer a lot. I'm annoyed at having to play the officer all the time, and it's like
I want to, especially.
And it's like, okay, I'm playing loadouts now that I have to play the officer with, which is basically for me the big 2-way Spikes Martini.
Right.
I'm like, I want to play something else. And you can't just go, let's shelf that quest for now and come back to it.
Right.
Because if you abandon it, yeah, like I'm at 950 of 1,000. I'm not shelving it. But that means, cool, I have to either ignore one of my quests for a while,
or force myself to do it and get it over with.
Force myself to do it, or lose all that progress. So, like, those are not great options when you're having a bad time playing a loadout.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily forcing you to do it, but it's like the thing of the events are long and like there's plenty of time to do. The quest lines seem to be nicely paced, right? Like there's not particularly a rush to it. But it's the thing of you also don't want to faff around with it,
right?
Like if I just don't focus on it at all, I'm not going to get them done,
right?
And so there is a little bit of pressure on it,
Right, but that comes back to is the rewards from it worth it to you? So
yeah, and but I'm annoyed with enough of these that I'm almost like I might just not bother.
Yeah, fair.
And that feels bad with the quest of it, because I want the quest to be fun too, and I don't know. So some of the quests are like I like. Let me look at them. Using custom special ammo, I like that because
that's fine. It's broad
playing
enough.
a different way. Yeah, it's playing a different way.
And it still gives you an option to pick how you want to play within the special ammo options.
Yeah, it's like, do you want to be a sweatlord and play slugs or high velocity? You're fine. Do you want to
annoy people with dum dum? Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to try and burn people? Like, you've got plenty of options there. It might be a little bit too broad, but I prefer it to. Here's a gun with a certain skin. You can't even choose the skin. It's like
you're right.
Okay.
You're locked into the skin. Yeah.
Because the funny thing is, I got it, and then I made in my Black Market, I got Blue Bourbon on sale. And I'm like, ooh, I like that skin more. And so now I'm like, I would even prefer to be using a different skin.
Right.
But
yeah, if they could at least make it so that you could pick what skin you use, like I kind of get for the sake of the story and the lore why you're using specifically Killian's chance or whatever it's called. But
yeah, also, it makes sense. But
come on now, like. I mean, people are probably going to use it anyway because they just got it, but if they don't want to, let them have that option, I feel like.
And it's one of those things where, like, I also feel like it would be solved if you just had, like, all of these quests is almost like a massive pool you can choose from, and each one gives you a certain amount of stars, and you can buy the legendaries, like it's a little store. So it's the skin costs 40 stars, but if you want Killian's chance, it costs 20. The new crag is 20, right?
Oh, that would actually be a good option, too. I like that.
Yeah, so I'm like, I think there are other options to do, and I don't like the linear progression of like the battle passes and stuff. And I feel like instead of trying to come up with a system that is healthy for the game and enjoyable for players, because let's be honest, if there's another skin that you can unlock, even if most players don't want it, most players are gonna FOMO it.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm gonna still try and get the skin even though I don't particularly want it.
Yeah,
I want to FOMO it because I don't. But what if I don't
I'm a completionist.
Get it? Yeah, what if I don't get that? And I know that's not everybody, but I feel like it's more enjoyable than for most players, and it's going to be more consistent at avoiding burnout too.
Agreed.
Because that's kind of like what killed me with Destiny, and for a while with Hunt, it was just, I got burnout of like having to do very specific things for specific skins, and then realizing I don't even care that much. Instead of just going, "Hey, play the game." Have fun playing the game. Here, try the game in a slightly new way. And I feel like they just went, this is what COD does. This is what Apex Legends does. This is what Fortnite does. Is that what Fortnite does? I don't know.
I don't know.
So they just went, cool, Battle Pass.
I mean, I'm still on the team of, I think a Battle Pass was probably the best option, unless they came out with something new.
I think a Battle Pass is better than nothing for the monetization and stuff.
Right.
But I think it would have been better if instead of doing that, even it's just like there's still ways. Let's say we go with the store option, right? And they're like, we want some way to monetize it. Okay, some of these are only available to pass holders, right? Like you can only buy the skin if you have the pass or whatever.
Pass, right.
Yeah. Let's go back to the other one. Because right now skin's free. You can only get Kevin if you have the thing. So instead of being like he's at the end of the thing, you can only get him if you bought the pass. He still costs the same amount of stars. He's still difficult to get, but now if you don't want him, you can focus on something else first.
I think the hard part there is going to be like fleshing out how like the pace of it. You know what I mean? Because they'll have to do a test first, and that's going to make people upset.
I mean, I agree, but it's still the thing of like, I think it'd be more enjoyable to be able to go, I just want Kevin.
Agree.
And be able to get Kevin early, and then be able to play Kevin during the event when I'm going to be playing a lot.
Right. That's fair.
But so like you could do that, or just be like, oh, here you can only do these quests if you're in the event, or oh, you get a discount on the amount of stars that things cost. Like there's ways to.
Oh yeah.
There's ways to encourage people to still spend money to support the game. Which again, I think is something.
I think that store idea is probably the best I've ever heard. Actually, that sounds awesome. I would love that.
And that just comes from I'll be honest, I didn't steal it, but it's a slight tweak on a different online game I played. So
Okay.
Which is like
but still,
like kind of like yeah. And I'm like, all the upgrade trees, like that's something that's been in RPGs forever, right?
Right.
And then you get kind of the fun thing of you feel like, oh, I'm upgrading my Centennial, I'm upgrading my Crag by unlocking these event points.
Yeah, when you described it as a web earlier, I thought of what conjured in my head was the talent tree from Path of Exile, where it's like you're in the middle and you just branch out into different directions.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking of
that's cool and horrifying.
Either or like Skyrim or I played one recently that not Greedfall, what was it? Another RPG that was just like, here, have a quest tree. I'm like, ooh, I love me a quest tree. So
quest tree, I like that. But I still think the shop is probably better, at least for Hunt.
Yeah, and the reason I would lean against that is I feel like that would be more developmentally intense to make it work.
Yeah, probably. And they've already got the system in place, so.
Yeah, it feels like the battle pass it feels fine. it's so
like, and that's not necessarily a bad thing because people know how it works.
Yeah.
But also it's not unique. It's not different.
There's definitive drawbacks to it.
Yeah.
And if we went to the store thing, it might go horribly. Like it might be something like they're like, we considered this, but it would lose us so much money that we can't afford it. Like, yeah, that's a possibility that I might just be missing one of the puzzle
some detail. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's fair.
All right, Draculich, how are we doing on time?
We're about 45 minutes.
We're about 45 minutes. All right, we're gonna hit 1.12 really fast.
Okay.
Because it's topical. I don't think we have time to talk about new players, so maybe we record that later this week, and this way you can edit one in a decent time.
I still have the last one to finish.
Which, by the way, people, you have to listen in the end. Now, it might sound like Drake's at fault here because Drake's the one editing it, and Drake's like, I haven't had time to do it. The real problem is not Drake, it's Baldore who went, yeah, it's fine to edit this 2-hour podcast that I don't have to edit. Like this is on me. Like it might sound like Drake, but this is me handing him a bunch of work. The expected result, extra work happened.
I still plan on releasing that 2-hour one before this one. So this is gonna be a like after the fact admission here. But yes.
Yeah, I just listen like the end or something to be like, look, Baldy's a Dumbo who made extra work for me. Where's I just had the post up.
Is it the one that
1.12?
Okay, yeah.
We've actually already talked about a bit of this. They fixed some stuff. They fixed the reload bug. Fabulous. They fixed peaking. Thank God. I think we might have talked about this on last update, where the peaking one is the big one for me. It's like those two are so great that they fixed.
I did have a moment recently though where it looked like I couldn't see the guy's right. Like, I couldn't see him at all except for his like elbow, and he headshot me. I was like, what?
It's not gone, but it feels the thing of it's in sweaty lobbies now and not every lobby.
Okay, yeah.
Like it feels more like this is an advantage you can get versus this is something you should be doing.
Right.
So we have that. They've been talking about after balancing, which is good. We've talked about solo E5s. They fixed the equipment. You can equip legendary skins to guns. Yeah.
Yes.
Baby.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I think we talked about that too at one point.
I think we did. I think we
talked about this. I'm not saying that we made it happen, but I mean,
yeah. If we talked about this update already, folks, this is just us doing it again with hindsight. It was totally intentional, and
yeah.
Oh, Stock Beetle Explosion is now 25. It's almost playable now.
It's
well, that's not true. It's playable. It's almost takeable from the equipment screen.
Let's be honest. It's eminently more than 25 because it does like the actual burst is 25 and you bleed immediately. So it's at least 26 damage.
25 is a good number because if they have a small bow now, they have to heal.
Yeah.
Which makes it relevant to actually try and stop the Stock Beetle instead of going, yeah, whatever, I'm gonna let him explode.
Yeah, I'll just eat the explosion and carry on. Yeah. I've done that plenty of times.
The lootable saddlebags. It's nice to have another loot box thing. I like that they can give you.
And they're big.
They only give consumables, which is nice. So you're not going to get tools back, and then you can get better consumables from it. You can get Legion shots and stuff like that.
You get double, like the
nice.
the non-weak variants of shots and like dynamite bundles.
I mean, just being able to get healing shots is pretty great.
I mean, yeah, true. Very true.
The big thing, but the small downside is you can't get a med kit if you want a med kit. But
right, true, yeah.
You can also get money, which cool. I just want to touch on. I know we talked about the shorty, but I really like the shorty. I'm really glad they've added the shorty.
I like the fact that they added it along with the silenced variant of it.
Yeah. The thing with the shorty is it gives me what I've wanted for a very long time, which is a quartermaster budget range option.
Right.
Because the issue with the Nagant P is the drop-off's heinous. So it's not a great range option if you get stuck somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
The Scottfield Precision, I can't get a hang of the muzzle velocity, and the fire rate's weird to me.
Get really lucky with that one.
Yeah, I've just never had good experiences with it. I just don't like the slightly slower firing rate than the P, and then the damage drop-off still isn't great, and the muzzle velocity isn't great. So having a 500 velocity, decent damage drop-off mid-slot's really nice. It's like, yes, there is a reason I would take this over a PAX. So like, there's a reason to buy Quartermaster.
Also, if you absolutely need to, you can still lever it.
Yeah. They've also made the uppercut more expensive a while back, and the thing I realized is that makes the Obras have a really nice niche now, where like there's a reason to bring in Obras now over an uppercut. Because like before it's like, why am I going to spend two kind of mandatory perks on the Obras and then a third beneficial one in Bullet Grubber when I could just take an uppercut for cheaper without Quartermaster? So that's really nice. There's kind of like really mild things that I just wanted to note on because I like shotgun Quartermaster loadouts. They're a lot of fun to me. So
yes.
We've talked about the quest lines. They talked about making better loading screens and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's neat. And the other day I got back-to-back the Lamat Merc 2, because they're like, we're going to give better tips to like players who have time. I have 2,000 hours in, and it's like, the Lamat Merc 2 has a powerful underslung shotgun. And I'm just like, I don't believe you. I don't. You're lying to me.
Well,
you're lying to me. And then I got another one, and like right after that one, where I was like laughing with Riley, and I'm like, this is just untrue. I got another one where I'm like, if this was a new player tip, they'd be dead.
What was it?
I don't remember. It was something where I'm just like, the way you've hyped up the gun is misleading.
Okay. What was I going to say? I remember them saying somewhere that it was the loading screen tips were going to be based on your bloodline rank. So presumably that means that even if you prestige and you go back down to 1, you're going to start getting the newbie stuff again, and that they would change over time as you leveled up to be more...
It's a variety of parameters. So it's bloodline rank, prestige, playtime, game mode, etc. So playtime, game mode, whatever. So game mode, whatever, because that's going to be like quick play. But prestige, I'm rank 10. Playtime, I have 2,000 hours, and bloodline rank 100. Like, why are they lying to me about the Lamat right now? I mean, I'm glad they're lying to me about it, not going, hey, new players, depend on the Lamat shotgun in tight situations.
I have done that.
It's not the worst situation, but like saying it's a powerful option is like, no, this is a useful tool. This is not a powerful option.
Right. This is they come around the corner and you're close enough to put it to their chest option.
This is please at me, Lamat mains.
Yes.
Now Lamat Carbine with slugs, pretty enjoyable. I've been playing that a bit. It's fun, but
you're a monster. I'm sorry, slugs. I get killed by slugs.
It's the Lamat carbine. It's the Lamat carbine.
I get killed with the Lamat carbine slugs all the time.
Stop pushing the Lamat carbine with slugs.
I don't know they have slugs until I die to it.
Okay, if they have a Lamat carbine, assume they have slugs.
If they have a shotgun, I assume they have slugs. Got it. I heard you crystal clear.
How do you feel about Lameo slugs? Lameo slugs strike, yay or nay?
Wait, is that a thing?
Yeah, the Lameo gets slugs.
I actually don't play anything but Dragon's Breath, so I don't even pay attention.
It's like playing it. It's like I want to play Lameo, but I want to remove what little I. Which also the amount of I always play slugs and then it always feels like I can't believe that killed.
Wow.
Or how the frick did that not kill when you get a hit marker? Because sometimes you're like, that was like 15 meters. What the frick? And then sometimes you're like, that was 5 meters. And then you go, oh, it was an aim shot. God dang it.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the last thing I wanted to touch on. Oh, there's some quick play changes. You can get Lamat pair and Scott pair and bow. It's neat. It's good. Thank you. Appreciate it. They've added a thing where when you die, they tell you how you suck, which is neat.
Yes, the damage log essentially.
Yeah. My only thing with it is a pain to read sometimes.
Well, also note that in the top left corner of that box, it does have a little flag that says beta. So
yeah, you can also
they're still working on it. But
you can also sort it by inbound and outbound, which is nice. But sometimes I look at it and there's just 90 ticks of you took 1 point of bleed. You took 1 point of bleed. You took 1 point. I'm like, I'm aware I took 1 point of bleed. You just tell me what I was shot with.
What they need to do is condense that into when the bleed started to when the bleed ended, and then and of course an extra tick if it goes up or down, and
or just a place where you can click the top one and just hide them all.
Well, that too, yeah.
Have them full on it.
You know what? Yeah, that would work. But then have a time range of when it started to when it ended. That way, you're like, okay, I was bleeding during this time when this happened. Whatever.
I do like it though, and it's nice sometimes to be able to go. I did have a moment where somebody's like, "This is BS." I got there and I was just like, "Check your damage," and they're like, "Oh, I hit him in the air." Okay.
Yeah.
They waited for 2 minutes, and it took me a minute to convince them, and then they finally checked, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, that makes sense." So it's a nice learning tool too, to be like, "Oh, that's why."
That's fair. I do remember hearing though that someone. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's nice too to be like, "Oh, I got him to 140 damage." Oh, I was so close.
Right. So. I do remember hearing a story of someone. I want to say it was in one of our discords, someone that we know, took some falling damage, I don't know, 20 points of falling damage, so they healed up and everything, and they were still full. And then when they got hit by a player and died instantly, it still showed on their death thing that they had taken 10 or 20 damage from falling, and it had counted in their death. And they were like, "What?"
There's been something funky with healing lately, because I've had a couple moments where I've healed and then something's happened. It's been very rare, and it hasn't caused me to die. Okay. Well, I mean, not pointedly. It wasn't oh, I died because I healed, and then, but there might be one situation where it's I healed and then got pushed and had to heal again instead of covering a corner. But I mean, that's just glitches in the game. Whatever. And they seem to be aware of it, and it's not been serious, and it's that's been 3 times over the past month or 2. So whatever.
I mean, they still haven't fixed their biggest bug though.
The stalker beetle?
No, the headlamp or the shoulder lamp.
Oh, shut up!
The electric lamp. I'm sorry. I can still see the shadow of the gun in my hand.
Mike put a video out with it. People are gonna see it now. They're gonna know.
Okay. So between us saying it here and Mike, okay, good. Hopefully it gets fixed soon.
Of course. Then we are definitely...
Yeah, of course we are. What are you talking about? Of course we are.
Please, Mike. If you ever want to beg to come on a podcast...
Right, yes.
We'll consider it.
We'll consider it.
No, I will say, I posted my mini diorama in Mike's Discord, and he did give me a heart on it and said it looks nice. So, hey, I'm kind of big time,
Right, okay. Well, I know Baldore who got a like from Mike, so...
We're basically, we can just,
I'm basically famous
president
now.
Or something? Yeah, we're basically there.
Yeah.
I think that's a kind of a nice wrap up point for where we are.
I think so too.
Oh frick! There's one thing.
All right, we got 3 minutes. Less than 3 minutes. Go.
Wildcard conditions. They were moved nighttime. Well, they technically made nighttime opt-in. They were moved nighttime. Let's be honest.
Well, here, so I'm actually in the game. I can show the screen here. So they have
Wait, is it back there now? Do we have wildcards going again?
So they have a.
Is it going again?
I think
is it on weekends now?
I think they swapped it out, so it's nights are on a separate contract.
Okay, I'll be real honest. I've been playing the past couple nights. Playing again with nighttime, like there was a palpable drop in my enjoyment of the game when nighttime was back in the when it was in the shuffle for the contract.
Right.
Because I got like 3 matches in a row, and I was just like, I didn't want to play the game. I wanted to quit.
Right.
Like it strains my eyes. Everybody plays so sweaty. There's so many skins. They're like, oh yeah, playing like Reptilian or Kane or Blackco or Kirkus Gunrunner, like, or even like Sophia, the two, what is it, Perkta, how do you say it?
Dawn and Dusk,
Vengeance of Skin would be good. Scaramuccia, the
guy with the 3 faces.
Yeah, that'd be hard to see. Wormbite would be hard to see. Hornback would be hard to see. The Halloween one would be hard to see. Like, so many of the legendary hunters in tier 3s are just like, oh, it's so hard to see now. Which isn't necessarily a horrible issue. It's just like, it's annoying to me a lot of the time. Especially then when people are bushwhacking more.
Yeah, so but what Hunt is doing right now is switching on the weekends. They're switching it so that the nighttime mode is on a separate contract, and as of right now, they've got it so it's only nighttime. The bonus that you get is what, ×2, ×3, something like that for getting
I think it's plus 300 flat.
Oh, that's
what it was before. Yeah.
And then you also are stuck to playing against all teams. So if you're going solo, you're forced into duos and trios, and vice versa. So,
and what they're doing right now is they're testing it. This isn't necessarily like every weekend this will be it forever.
Right. As of this recording, May 12th, 23.
I think here's the thing that kind of bugs me about it, is they've only tested it with nighttime.
I mean, I think that's a good one to test it with, because a lot of people don't care for nighttime.
Yeah, but I think it'd be interesting to do one weekend where it's like, hey, it's all fog. Or hey, it's all...
Right.
It's all Inferno, and just see how does that affect the numbers, and then do it like, okay, fog numbers go up and it's more popular than standard. What happens if we have it be standard bounty? What happens if we remove the bounty? What happens if we lock it to teams of 2? Like, there's more to mess with than just nighttime, and so I hope they test that soon.
Right, I agree. That would be kind of cool.
Or they cannot I can have nighttime removed. That's fine too.
Nighttime removed. I mean, I wouldn't want that, only because I do occasionally enjoy the nighttime for the sake of like seeing how the light interacts with the darkness. I just think they did such a good job with it. Oh
yeah, that's true.
So it's like I wouldn't want them to do that, but I do have an idea for you. It's just totally hypothetical. But also
just bring back. What was it? Devil's Moon or whatever. Just bring back Big Moon nighttime.
Oh,
where there's slightly more light.
Yeah, bright night.
Because you still get the cool night vibes, but your eyes don't hurt. Your sweat loops can even be a little bit more sweaty. It's still slightly slower, but your eyes, my eyes don't strain as much, and I don't feel like I need to crank my gamma or something to be able to play the game, which I don't actually do that before you at me. I just wish I did.
I actually
I have to do it on my monitor, and it's awful to switch my gamma.
Yeah, that's fair. But really quick, I have an idea I want your opinion on. What if they changed it up so that time of day actually moved, but only to the next time of day? So like it's random what time of day you start at. So let's just say it starts in the morning. By the end of the match, the 45 minutes, it's now like midday or whatever the next time of day is. Right? It's dusk. Or sorry, dawn and then midday. Yeah. What if they did something like that, and or had fog
Mondays
randomly or roll out randomly?
Mondays morning, Tuesdays fog, Wednesdays nighttime, something like that.
No. I mean per match. So you load into the match.
My only thing with that is I don't know if it has the player base to have that and then have full matches.
Well, what do you mean? Oh, okay. I see.
Because if I have to be in a fog match and I choose wildcard, and you have to be in a night match, we can't be in a match together, even if we're the exact same star.
It would mess with the whole wildcard thing, I guess. That's
Which
true.
also, little bitty note, Draiic, I would like you to look at your lobby, and I'd like you to opt out of locked MMR.
Oh yeah, they took out the.
They removed it.
They removed it,
which is fine.
So now it's just strictly skill based.
Yeah, it annoys me though that they didn't say anything.
I thought they did. It was a very minor note, but they said something about it.
Okay, if they did, it was on the stream, but they didn't put it in patch notes that I saw.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, it was in a
disclaimer. I might have missed it. Might have missed it. But it's something I know people who played not locked, and they just hit their MMR and they played every match, assuming they could be with a 6-day and they could be with a 1-day.
That's smart, frankly.
Yeah, and they were like, I wanted to play old one, and that's just not an option to them.
Yeah, I guess that's unfortunate.
I don't see why, because it's only going to allow them to get into matches quickly, which is going to help match sides, which is something they want, right. And it's not going to hurt any new players who
if you think about it,
probably haven't turned on anyway.
The player base, because if people are playing match with the skill-based MMR turned on, you're not getting put into the same lobbies as people who have it turned off.
No, you still can be. Versa. You still can be.
Well, then what's the point?
So if I have matchmaking turned off, and let's say we're both 4-day, right? We're both whatever the heck the middle score is. We're both 2600, sure, which I think is low 4-day, high 3-day. No, sorry, 2600 is the highest.
Oh yeah, they got rid of the box to tell you.
Whatever it is. We're both at 2356. What? We have the exact same MMR. Okay. And you're in locked, and I'm in unlocked. I can still be in your matchmaking. That's fine. But what'll happen is if there's a 6-star lobby that opens up first, and it's goes through the window, and yours hasn't opened, yours is still open. Eventually, mine will go. Okay, Storm in the 6-day lobby. He's fine with it. And then yours will keep searching. So it's not really splitting it in the same way. We could still play together. It wouldn't be quite like that. So
that's very interesting. I didn't realize that they would do that. Okay.
Yes.
I was under the impression it was totally split.
It is not a totally split. Yeah, it's just saying I'm fine with being thrown into a lobby that's way higher, way lower,
right? Okay.
And not knowing it, because that's the big thing is you don't know it.
Right.
Which, by the way, playing with solo revive and sometimes tanking my MMR to just be low 3-stars because I revive myself and bomb rush somebody 4 times because why not? I'm gonna die anyway. It's really fun to play those matches. Just hey, whatever, I'm running and gunning.
Yeah.
If I play those matches sweaty, it is pointedly not fun.
Really?
Yes.
Is it too easy?
It feels like you're cheating. Because I'm peeking a hole in a wall to shoot somebody crouch walking in a boss. Right?
Yeah.
And it's that doesn't
feels bad for them.
It doesn't feel like the game's being played as intended. Where it's okay, I see somebody running across the field, I take a pot shot at him and then run across the field too. It's hey, this is a fun game. It's it feels like we're on equal levels. And then take cover, pop out. If I'm not being sweaty, it's fine because I'm not particularly a great shot. But if I'm doing the thing where you aim and then jump back into cover, so you're wall banging the wall in front of you a lot of the time,
right?
Because you're doing that really quick peeking, or you're crouch walking to shoot a nasty angle. It's so not fun because it feels either mean, or oddly enough, sometimes then what happens is they just sprint in with the shotgun because they're not used to playing it slow. Oh. And then sometimes you just get shot there, but a lot of times it's just it just feels scummy.
Okay.
So then
I could see that.
Then I get this. I got into this weird thing sometimes where I don't want to play sweaty to get higher because it's not enjoyable to me.
Right.
But then I don't necessarily move higher, and I'm yeah, but what if now I kind of want to play sweatier, but I don't want to. So.
But I don't want to feel scummy for it.
Yeah, it's this weird thing with the but I don't think there's a good way to fix
that's hard to fix. Yeah.
It's MMR is a tough nut to crack.
I feel like,
and
I
think the best solution I've seen is somebody said, "Hey, what if when you're killed by a player, they can only lower your MMA once, right? And you can only raise your MMA from killing them once." And I'm like, I think that would be fine because it would cause everybody to
you'd move slower.
You'd move slower,
up or down.
And I think that'd be fine. And so then it's because legitimately what it is sometimes like I'm stuck in low matchmaking because I'll kill 7 hunters in one round, but then I also die to one hunter 5 times because I'm just making ballsy revives.
Right.
And so like MMA goes, yes, this is appropriate, and it's like, no, it's not. When I kill 7 different hunters and wipe 3 different teams, that's not the same as me reviving, hoping I clear the concertina wire.
I wonder if the stats of the kill matter though. So if someone snipes you from across, from Reynard into, I don't remember the name of it, Alice,
I think
or whatever.
I almost wish there was a. I just thought of this. So one is you can only raise or lower by one thing. The other solution I just thought of is, what if revive kills don't count? Right, so like for like a 5-second window after you revive,
they just
if you get killed, it just doesn't count you MMR for killing them, and it doesn't count against you.
I think I like that. So like, because the stand up period, and then very shortly after the stand up period,
it solves the red skull reviving. It solves the self revive. Because now I do not do this on purpose. I'm just too ballsy with my revives. Because what I do is I go, I'm dead anyway. Why not pick myself up?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm the right play here might be to wait 10 minutes and then pick up. And a lot of times I just go, I don't really want to though.
I just want to play.
There's been a couple of times where you just revive and you manage to slow slap them with your knife or something. You're like, how did that work? But there are some people who solo revive and then just pick themselves up on purpose and just respec and get necro, and do that 2 or 3 matches to play against Bambis on purpose. Now, I think that is a very small percentage of the player base. But they do exist. And I'm like, irritating. And again, that would, because I'm like, I've definitely had that too. Where it's like, this person's clearly a 6-star. Like, they just headshot me through 2 walls 3 times in a row. Like, stop lying to me and telling me they're 3-star or something.
Right. Yeah. They're doing what I'm doing. Only they're sweating now.
It's like, you might be doing this on purpose, which I feel very hypocritical saying. Like, that's the thing with solo revive though. Like, why wouldn't you? Right. Because I'm like, if I'm going to die, like doing what's it called, the Inferno, there were times where I go, I'm not going to solo revive because I'm going to burn a bear. Since I'm grounded anyway, I would prefer to keep my hunter, just lose my stuff, respec and play again, and just spend the perk points I get. Whereas now it's like, if I click back to menu, I'm dead.
You're right. Yeah, I'm dead.
And so my options are, you have 3 options. You have risk it for the biscuit, wait some time to. Well, I guess there's 4. There's risk it for the biscuit, revive immediately, boss the walls. I think that one's a fine option. That's not typically what I do. I typically go with the second one of wait a minute or 2. If there's sweaty and watching your body, you're gonna die, but why not? Because you're gonna die anyway. Then there's the sweaty often right decision of wait a while if they don't burn you or trap you immediately. Wait 10 minutes and ensure they're gone and then pick up. And then your last option is go back to the menu and die.
Right.
And it's most of those encourage you to effectively, even if if your intention is to win the match you're playing, sometimes it's going to be, I'm going to risk standing up here and probably just lowering my MMR, even if that's not your intention.
Right.
My intention is to win the match and get the bounty, but sometimes the outcome of it is...
The side effect is lowering MMR.
My intention is to win the match, but I am knowingly lowering. I'm not intentionally. Yeah, I'm not intentionally lowering my MMR, but I'm knowing if I pick myself up here 3 times.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I think a low death window would be nice.
Right, an MMR immunity window.
Yeah,
honestly, or even just the same player can't raise or lower off of you again.
Yeah,
frankly, I think that would be good.
Again, we've had the MMO discussion. We could get into it for another 2 hours.
Yeah, so let's
MMO
not.
is really hard. There's like some, and like it's been fun the past 2 months of like playing with teams and going up to 5-star and then playing solo and playing in like 3-star lobbies, of getting that wide variety and like. There's really sweaty people in both lobbies. There's really people with really good aim. There is a difference. I've seen a little bit more of the difference lately, but like,
yeah, I did too recently.
It's the MMR is hard to fix, and there's not a way to go. Yeah, just do this to fix it. And I think I like it more now than it's been a while since we had no MMR. I think I like it with MMR more than I liked it without MMR.
I agree.
Except when you get up to 6, that place sucks.
Well, I think most of us in my community have only been to 6 a handful of times.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there once. I stayed there for about 3 matches.
Yeah, that's about what
it was either getting snap headshotted, aftoed, nitroed, or just tortured. Like it was awful.
Have you seen an increase in aftermaths lately?
A little bit.
I have. It's irritating. It's infuriating. But
I've seen a large increase in Centennials.
That's fine.
Which I think is good because I think it's a good medium ammo. I've seen a pretty big decrease in Veterlies, but I think those two are related. I think that's more of a preference thing now, which I think is a healthy place. Like I see them pretty equally.
Yeah, I do too.
I've seen a lot of Mosins, a lot of Labels, few Berthas, which I think is weird because I really like the Bertha. I've seen very few Krags until this event, which is really odd to me because I think the Krag is really, really good.
I think the Krag is excellent, yeah.
I think what's happening there is just because I've seen a ton of it now, but when the event was like, play the Krag. But I think what happened there was it came out, people didn't play it a ton, which means people who used to playing the most in the Label just continued buying the most in the Label. Some people bought the Bertha because it was cheaper, whereas the Krag's in that weird place. And then since that kind of snowballs, because people go, oh, I have a Veterli, they just dropped a Mosin, I'm going to pick up the Mosin. I'm not going to spend my money to buy a Krag, even if I prefer to buy that, because I just picked up a Mosin.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that's been the thing. So it'll be really interesting after this event to see if the Krag has a nice little home.
I think the Krag with the sniper is going to have a nice home, especially for the price.
Yes.
But beyond that, like, I don't think the Bayonet's really going to do much for it. But
I think the Krag has a very nice place, but I think it's a little bit niche, and I think the problem isn't the Krag. I think it's the people have preferences already.
Oh, yeah, fair. The more guns you add, people are going to be like, okay, whatever, keep up with my usual. Yeah.
Which is nice, because it's like, my buddy's really attached to the Bertini Ironside, and so it's like, cool, it's nice that he's just kind of like almost like a signature weapon now.
Right,
And it's, especially with the variants, I think it's really nice for the variants.
I love the Martini Henry, but the Ironside just blocks so much sight, dude. I can't...
It's so funny that when they released it, I was like, yeah, whatever. It's going to block a lot of my screen. Big downside. And then I played, I'm like, good lord, that block. It blocks the left side of your screen. Like, your left side's gone.
Yeah.
I think that's probably been like my biggest thing of like, kind of like, yeah, that doesn't matter. And then just being like, I was wrong.
I was very wrong. All right, I feel like we should wrap it up here. We're 14 over.
All right. Let's wrap it up. That's kind of all I had. I think next one is we're going to be talking about voting, which will be probably not topical by the time we talk about it. But
wait, say it again.
Player onboarding, so like new players and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a statistic was just shared that 40% of players don't get the debut achievement, which is kill a enemy hunter.
Yeah.
And I think that stat's really misleading, and I'll talk about why.
I have a feeling I might know why, but we'll talk about that later.
So come back next week, next installment
after our next hiatus.
About it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Take us out, Drake.
take us out? I don't have enough ammo for that. No, I'm kidding.
With the big dynamite bud 20 feet.
Oh right, yeah. How much does that cost?
100 some?
75 for a regular bundle. All right. Thank you all for joining us. If you want to see the video side of this, as we're on YouTube and Rumble as well, you can just follow the link tree in the description. Yeah, that's all I got.
We've done it.
We've done it.
We've saved the bayou. See you next time, folks.
Don't forget to bring your drugs. There we go. That's the line.
You
Okay, bye.
snuck it in there.